Hi boys and girls, this week's comprehension skill is to draw conclusions. What does that mean? Hopefully you had a chance to watch the videos. All right, so let's read a little bit about a conclusion. So a conclusion is a decision or opinion that makes sense based on facts and details. So it's a decision or an opinion you make yourself based on what you've read. The details and facts you read and what you already know will help you draw conclusions about the text. The author doesn't always tell us everything, but yet we come to a decision sometimes based on what we've read. So I'm going to read collecting stamps, and then I'm going to ask you some questions at the end. I don't want you to write them down. I just want you to think about them and then talk with the adult that you're with today and discuss the answers to the questions I ask you. Go back to the story, find those details that help you make a decision. Okay, collecting stamps. Collecting stamps is a fun and interesting hobby. Sometimes children and young people are interested in collecting stamps, but they might not have a lot of money to buy stamps. How can you get stamps without spending money? Okay, that's going to be the topic of this whole selection. So how can you get stamps that you want to collect without spending a lot of money on them? There are a few ways you can solve that problem. One way is to ask people to give you stamps that they don't need. Start by telling your friends and your family that you are collecting stamps. Suppose your uncle gets a letter from France. He can save the stamp and give it to you. Another way to get stamps is to trade them with other people. Once you start collecting, you might get more than one copy of the stamp. Then you can use the copies to trade with other people for stamps that they don't have or that you don't have. Asking people to save stamps for you and trading stamps are two good ways to get stamps. Before you know it, you'll have more stamps than you can count. So the problem is getting stamps without spending money, and the story gives us two solutions. What were two solutions that we can use to solve the problem of getting stamps without spending money? So pause the video, think and discuss. Right, if you said that one way to get stamps without solving money is to ask people to give you stamps, and then the other one is to trade with other people, kind of like you trade, like if you have baseball cards or Pokemon cards, you trade. You can do the same thing with stamps. Okay, my last question is the drawing conclusion question. Okay, so what conclusion can you draw about how you might get more than one copy of a stamp? So in the third paragraph, it starts, another way to get stamps is to trade them with other people. Once you start collecting, you might get more than one copy of the same stamp. Then you can use the copies to trade with other people for stamps that you don't have. So the author doesn't tell us how we might get more than one copy of a stamp, kind of like you might get more than one copy of a Pokemon card. How does that happen? Okay, what conclusion can you draw? Okay, go ahead and pause and think about that. Okay, so you can get more than one copy of like a Pokemon card or a stamp, because if people are giving you them, they don't know what you already have, so they might give you a stamp that you might already have, and then you can keep it in your collection, and then you have that to trade, because you'll have a copy for yourself, and then you have extra copies that you can use to trade with other people. All right, boys and girls, I am going to give you some more practice with drawing conclusions in the coming week. I hope that you have fun with some of the activities that we are going to do.